So the year was 1935, and Strongberg Carburetor had been building carburetors for Ford Motor Company for the last couple of years, but the one thing that they hadn't done is raise their prices. By mid-1935, it was becoming apparent that Strongberg was honestly charging way too little for the carburetors that they were producing, and the company needed to do something in order to right the ship. So they sent the inevitable letter over to Ford Motor Company saying, look, we're really sorry, but the carburetors that we've been supplying you are going up in price. Well, Henry Ford, on his never-ending quest to get his prices as low as possible, was not too happy about the news. So he decided that he was going to reach out to other companies and allow them the opportunity to supply him. So by 1936, a small company by the name of Chandler Groves had answered the call, and they needed to come up with a carburetor that was very much like the Strongberg carburetor, but had enough differences so that they could patent the new design. For those wondering, this was one of the old Strongberg carburetors, and this was the design that Chandler Groves came up with, so you can kind of see some of the subtle differences on the external. By 1937, the new design was done in manufacturing and already starting to roll out on early Ford models. But during the entire process, Ford had slipped in one little caveat for the contract that would pretty much be Chandler Groves' undoing. See, Henry had convinced Chandler Groves that after a year of production and the carburetor proving itself, that the patent would be filed under Ford Motor Company's name. This way, Ford Motor Company would be able to use their legal teams to protect it from anybody who contested the patent rights. It was also likely implied that Ford Motor Company wanted their name on the patent rights because they didn't want Chandler Groves to sell this design to any of Ford's competitors, because Chandler Groves was also, at the time, by 1937, also supplying carburetors to Packard. Now, during the course of 1937, the Chandler Groves carburetor only needed a few minor tweaks in order to basically make it as good a carburetor as the Strongberg 97 was. Suspecting that their relationship was only going to grow, Chandler Groves signed the patent rights over to Henry Ford. But no sooner was the ink dry on the signature for the patent rights, Henry Ford dropped the contract with Chandler Groves. He then handed his brand new set of patent rights over to his good friend, George Marvin Holley. That's right, the founder of Holley Carburetor. Even though they were producing carburetors for Packard and TWA, it still was not enough to keep the company alive. And by 1939, all Fords left the factory with a brand new Holley carburetor, pretty much putting Holley's company on the map.